Hi guys, Bobby here. Sorry again, I lost my voice over the weekend, but then today is a very special day. Look at this, I love this car. This is the first generation Renault Megane RS. Alright, this is a very special looking car, don't you think it is? I love this unique rear end design of this car, and it's so special, and every time I see one I just can't help but, go up to the owner and just give them a thumbs up. That's the first generation. Then this is the second generation, and of course the second generation is one that I almost bought. I almost bought one. It was fantastic when it came out. It beats every other car in its class. It sets the first benchmark with front wheel drive cars that don't torque steer, right? And it is so good, so good. And then they have this, the Trophy R. The Trophy R is really the car that, they only brought in like 10 units and it was snapped up immediately because it has all the good bits. Pilot Sport Cup 2, Akrapovic exhaust, it has those crazy brakes, crazy suspension. That's the Trophy R. So why am I here today? Today, they're launching the new Megane RS. Let's go in and have a look, alright? Yes guys, that's the new Megane RS. Look at it now. I've seen this car on pictures, I've seen this car on videos. I don't really feel for it, but looking at the real car. Now wait for Con to close the door. Look at the profile, of the car. It doesn't look like your regular 4-door hatchback, okay? It looks very Sirocco-ish. Get what I mean? It's very sleek. And they did a wide body on this RS, so the front and rear tracks are wider, and you have a very slender, very slope-ish A-pillar, and that gives this 4-door or 5-door hatchback, whatever you want to call it, a very beautiful stance. Alright, the rims are perfect, everything looks perfect in the actual car. Okay, I'm surprised I like it because in pictures I kept looking at it for the past 2 years and I'm like, nah, not feeling it. And it's good looking. Let's have a look. It has what would seem like a clamshell bonnet. Look at that, the bonnet line goes down here, hidden into the lights, so you don't have any line that runs across the front. And I think the whole design has been given a very thoughtful when they pen the car, it's very thoughtful. You see them carefully masking the lines, and then every little thing. It's not the type where you feel that it's overly designed, or they just put less effort. No, this one looks good, and this racing checkered flag LED lamps, I love that. Okay, now the headlamps are full LED, and then the daytime running lights, you see, that's a very unique Renault feature now. And these fog lamps, right? And I like that little bit that runs across this. I think the front end is just very good looking. I think Renaults always have a good design when it comes to their cars, right? Rims, I'm surprised they're on Bridgestones. But car makers, sometimes they just swap between tires. Alright. Beautiful wheels, Brembos, and according to the press release, the calipers are a mixture of steel and aluminium, and they provide even better braking power than the previous one. When the previous one arrived in Malaysia, it is the benchmark for braking, it is the benchmark for handling. It has that unique independent steering axis that removes top steer for front wheel drive cars that are 250 horsepower and above. Now comes to power. Now the old one is powered by a 2-liter engine, and of course now every car downsizes their engine output, right? This one is 1.8 now, but the horsepower is greatly improved, 280 horsepower. But that's not the best bit yet. The best bit is the torque. It's 390 Newton meters of torque. Now if you were to compare this to the Golf R, yes, the Golf R makes 400 Newton meters of torque. The Golf R also makes 300 horsepower. Okay, that's one thing that separates them. That's big. Oh, look at the rear. Very nice design. If you read some reviews of track battles, you will know that just like what car they did a track battle between the Megane RS and the Civic Type R and the Golf R. The Megane RS, even though it's down by horsepower against the Golf R, even though it's only front wheel drive against four wheel drive, every lap it beats the Golf R by about 1.2 to 1.3 seconds. Every single lap it picks up that. Okay, because this car is just more hardcore. Renault, they don't fiddle around when they make performance hatches, because they don't just put in a lot of power and call it a day off. They look at every single detail. When Renault builds a performance car, they are a bit like Honda when they build a performance car, right? They look at every single detail. I mean, except the part whereby Honda overstyled the Civic Type R, this one doesn't, because this car looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, it looks really good, especially the white fenders. Look at that. I just love how it looks from the exterior. Now this is orange color. For those of you who missed the yellow color, Megane RS classic yellow color, it still is available. Alright, .8 seconds to 100. You may not win the sprint battle because it's front wheel drive at the end of the day, right? You want 0 to 100 speed, then the Golf R will serve that purpose. Now let's go inside and have a look. Okay. Oh, handles looks nice. Okay, let's have a look at this. These are carbon effect, right? Not real ones, but let's go and have a look. You still have the option of buying a 6-speed manual. Okay, so the 6-speed manual is 279,000, and then the auto is 299. 20,000 ringgit difference between the manual and the auto. Okay, 3 pedals here, 6-speed, and you have, okay, this car also has 4-wheel steer. So I think it is the only one in the segment with 4-wheel steer. So if you travel below 60 km/h, it's gonna switch the other direction, and if you are in race mode, it will be above 100 km/h. Then only it will be steered in the same direction. All right, I'll let him record it first. Yeah, and then the suspension has some really interesting stuff. It has what you would call, you know, a suspension within a suspension, because towards the suspension travel, towards the very end, it has another suspension travel that allows it to absorb the impact before bump stop happens, right? So that's the LCD dash. Alright, we're gonna go in and let you have a look at the inside. Okay, it's good. Thanks, bro. It's gonna be roughly the same as the new Renaults, right? You have this familiar vertical dash. This is more functionality, so no choice. I know the old one is very soupy, very good looking design, but this one is lovely as well. So you get the handbrakes are here. You still have handbrakes, huh? So you can have a bit of fun with that. And in French cars, that's how you do your reverse. Pull this up, right? Lovely gear shifter. Let's come to the rear. Now this car no longer comes in 2-door configuration, because in Europe people stopped buying the 2-door version of hatchbacks. Okay, so they're gonna reduce on it. Look at how thin the seats are. Absolutely thin. That's how a proper sports seat should look, right? I mean, if you watch my review of the Civic Type R, I find that a bit chunky, even though that is a sports seat. Okay, you sit comfortable at the back here. I mean, do I need to go about headroom? It's alright, it's really spacious. Okay, and you have the rear aircon vents blowing upwards. Very nice. Okay. I think this car is... Oh. Yeah, spacious boot, just like the previous one. The previous one also gives you very spacious boot, and then you have a reverse camera. I would take that out, huh? If you're a proper driver. Anyway, more for convenience, right? That one. So yeah, that's the new Renault Megane RS. Very, very good looking, attractive price, 280,000 for 280 horsepower, and 390 Newton meters of torque. Okay, so yep. Anything else?